Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well, staying happy, healthy, and safe, and all that good stuff. This video is going to be more of a compilation kind of thing, I guess. I got some stories from the Ozarks, I got some stuff from Ghana, I got some psychological terror that's sure to keep you up at night, and we'll see where it takes us. If you want to support the channel, you can like the video, comment, subscribe. If you want to support the channel in a different way, I have a Patreon link and a PayPal link. Thank you for watching, and let's jump into it. Oh, and don't forget to pull up a stump. This first story is the one from the Ozarks, and it was posted on the Paranormal Board anonymously on January 30th, 2020. So let's jump into this one. So it's pretty deep in the woods, and I was in the Ozarks on public lands. My intention was to go squirrel hunting, so I hike a ways in and I'm walking around. I see a flock of turkeys, I see a raccoon screwing around by the creek, I see a few rabbits, and I find half of an 8-point, almost 10-point shed, a shed being the antlers from a deer. I don't see any squirrels, but all in all, I'm actually having a pretty good day. So I'm heading back to my car, walking along this pretty big creek. It's probably about 60 feet wide. It has a channel in the middle that fluctuates between 4 and 6 feet deep. Supposed to be good panfish and black bass fishing. So this is early in the year, so it's very cold and wet, and the creek's kind of running a bit higher than usual. The banks are all muddy and stuff, as they would be. But I noticed a couple of places where it looks like animals went down into the water and then slipped in or something. So I take a few pictures as I walk, and he doesn't post any of them. So he stops and looks into the water, and I notice that what looks like a big dark spot is under the water. It looks to be about 4.5 to 5 feet long, and I notice it kind of looks like it's got a fat tail and a fat round head, but I assume it's probably just a log or something like that. So I continue walking back to my car, and I hear a splash. I look to see if the raccoon is swimming. The water above and behind this weird log is kind of moving now. It kind of looks like it's turned toward me. I keep walking, but I get a creepy feeling. I notice that it looks like it's kind of drifting along behind me, kind of parallel to my path. So I stop and stare at it. I have my trusty shotgun at the ready, but it only drifts a little bit more and then just stops. Now, the water is running, so it's probably just a floating branch or something that got snagged and maybe had come loose. So I come to a drainage ditch about 5 feet deep that runs into the creek. It maybe has about a foot of water in it. So I hop down and start to cross it. I swear the log looks like it started to drift toward the drainage ditch now. I scramble up to the other side quite quickly, because I'm getting a little worried. So I keep walking after this and notice that the log is still tracking my path. I get a weird thought in my head. It kind of looks like a really big hellbender salamander. I'm starting to get a little more freaked out and kind of pick up my pace a little bit, and it's starting to move faster too. In fact, every drainage ditch I come to at this point makes me just want to vault it or try to run across it or jump over it just to get out of there quicker. I get to a part of the creek where a small branch makes a big loop, and at this point I'm thinking there is no way that I'm crossing that. So I take the long way around, and I didn't see it in the loop, so I'm thinking, okay, I can breathe a little bit now. It probably was just a log, and I kind of feel stupid for getting scared at it. But I come back around to the other side of the loop, following the creek again, and a bit further up ahead I notice what looks like the same looking thing in the creek. And to be honest, I'm trying to rationalize it in my head by telling myself, well, no doubt, creeks do have logs in them. It's not really uncommon. But I stare at it really hard, and it almost looks like it has two duller brown spots on its head. And I get this really weird paranoid feeling, and I feel like it's staring at me. But I try to tell myself that I'm just being stupid and keep walking. I stop for a minute to check my phone, and then I look back to the creek and suddenly hear a splash like something getting out of a pool and a bunch of sticks breaking, and I'm thinking, oh hell no. My fight or flight kicks in and I haul ass out of there. I'm definitely not scared. That's sarcastic, by the way. I go to a little quarter mile into some open fields with no cover. I'm using my phone map for approximation to trace a rough parallel path to the creek, and I maintain a solid quarter mile separation. I get back to the vehicle and I nope out of there. And so yeah, there may be carnivorous 5-foot long hellbender things in the Ozarks. What did you guys do today? So I don't know about you, but I had fun reading that story because I can relate to a lot of things like that. I'm not going to say exactly where I'm from, but the area I live in is quite old. It's been settled for like a long time. And there's stories about weird things in the woods and stuff here too. So it's always nice to hear that you're not crazy and that there might just be something else going on out there. But yeah, what did you guys think? Let me know down in the comments. Now this story comes all the way from Ghana, and it's a news article, and I'll post a link to that in the description so you can check it out for yourself. And I know some of you may not like it, but I do like to kind of just talk about these things sometimes too, instead of just doing stories. It's kind of a bit of a change for me, I guess. I don't know. So here's the headline. From BC, SHS girl jumps from second floor. 19 others collapse after ghost scare. About 20 students from the Fumbisi Senior High School, or Agric School, in the Upper East region collapsed between Sunday and Monday after allegedly seeing ghosts lurking on campus, a situation which has caused the management to send all students home and shut the place down temporarily until further notice. 3 of the students collapsed on Sunday night and 17 more on Monday. They were hospitalized at the Fumbisi Clinic in Sendima Government Hospital. 16 of those taken to the Sendima Government Hospital have been discharged already. As a result of the ghost scare, some students went on the rampage over the mysterious mass fainting of their fellow students. A situation was compelled the school authorities to shut down the place. The district police commander for Belusa South, Superintendent Samuel Otoso, told Class News' regional correspondent Derek Abakisi that a strange object, according to reports which looked like a human being, appeared where the children were studying in the night around 11 p.m. or so. They became frightened and started running for dear life in various directions. So, one of the third-year general arts students, a lady whose name was given as Salome Achimpong, I doubt I'm saying that right, happened to jump from the second floor and landed on the ground, so she got injured and was rushed to Fumbisi Clinic. But the information we have now is that she has been transferred to the government hospital. And then also around 1 a.m. this morning, which would be Monday, that's at dawn, some of the students, according to the information we have, went to the house mistress's bungalow and threw stones to damage some of her properties. From there, they continued to the headmaster's bungalow, where they assaulted the night securityman. So, when the day broke, the troubles were still going on. The school prepared their students for breakfast, but they said they would not eat. So the headmaster, in consultation with the DCE and the regional director of education, took a decision that in order to not let anything else happen, they should close the school down until further notice. So what do you think is happening here? Do you think that what they saw was so terrifying to them that, it did cause them to run off in different directions and even caused one woman to jump from the window? So it was obviously terrifying, but I'm just thinking, what do you think it was? What do you think it looked like? It's known that Africa is much more supernaturally and paranormally active than a lot of other places. And in fact, I do hear a lot of stories about shamans and stuff being hired to summon these spirits or put a curse on somebody to get something done. If they want to marry somebody, they can get a shaman to go do that for them. So I wonder if it could have been something like that. Would a shaman or someone that paid a shaman have a reason to shut down this school and send all these kids to the hospital? Do you think that there was more than they let on here? Or do you think the whole thing is a misunderstanding, But let me know what you think down in the comments. It's a pretty bizarre story for me, which is why I don't have too much of a comment on it, because I can't really think of what else would cause a bunch of students to just freak out like that and shut the whole school down. Yeah, let me know what you think. So this second to last story that I'm going to do is about a house that used to exist in a community near to mine. This was told to me by somebody I know who likes the videos and wanted to know if I would do one on his story. So this is his story. So sometime in the late 70s or early 80s, he was out partying with friends at this house that a lot of terrible things happened at in the past. And I'll save those things for a different video, but basically it's very haunted. It's a very bad land, as we say around here. So they were there at a party because teenagers used to go there and party because they knew that nobody would bother them back there because it's way back in the woods, very far in the forest. So they're in a car and they're like drinking and stuff, and it's like coming on winter, so there's a little bit of snow on the ground. And they're in the car just kind of talking, shooting the shit, talking about girls, funny stories, as you would do on like a Friday or Saturday night this time of the year. And then the driver says that he sees that the curtain had moved in one of the windows. And this house was abandoned for a long time, so there was no one living there. And it was far enough back in the woods that there wouldn't be anyone living there, or anyone squatting there anyways, because there's nothing around. So they get like a little creeped out, they start telling stories about well, I heard this happened, and just how the conversations go. So the guy that told me this story says that he had to go to the bathroom, so he opens the door of the car and gets out, and he sees footprints all around the car, and not leading anywhere else, not coming to the house, not going back to the house, just around the car. He gets back in, he waits a few minutes, and he tells them, and the driver looks out the window, rolls down the window, and he backs up out of there, and they leave and never go back there. The long and short of that house is that it was home to cults, drifters, sacrifices, kind of stuff like that. A very bad area. Anyways, that's just like a little bit of a glimpse into the area that I live in, where we have these stories that circulate around from decades ago. Anyways, on to the last story, which is the kind of really scary, screwed up one. So about a week before this happened, my parents had died in a car wreck, and I'm laying in bed crying myself to sleep, as was my new normal. I hear a creak on the floor outside my room, and I hear giggling. My dog perks up and starts growling like crazy. My mom slowly leans in around the corner of the door. She looks different, and her movements are all wrong. Jerky and twitchy. Go to sleep, Anon. It'll all be better soon. It's her voice, but sounds clotted somehow. My blood is ice water. My dog is whimpering and cowering now. My mom jerks back around the door. I hear another creak. My dad leans around the corner. It's okay, son. We're going to be a family again soon. Just fall asleep. And giggles. Like my mom, his movements are all spastic and screwed up. His face is grinning rictus. He jerks his head out of sight. My heart is pounding. Quickly as I can, I grab my phone and dial 911 to report a home invasion at my address. I can hear movement and that insane giggling in the hallway. I'm lying there with tears rolling down my face from fear. I don't know how long it was until I saw flashing lights outside the house and muffled shouts. Hurried movement in the hallway. Something crashes to the ground. Muffled shouts from downstairs as the cops come through the front door. And I think, thank you God. They search my house, and afterward a cop approaches me, white as a sheet. It's hard to tell you this, but we found your parents' faces on the ground outside. That was almost 10 years ago, and I never found the guys that did it. And I still have nightmares. So I thought that was one of the most screwed up stories I've ever read. Again, it was posted on the paranormal board, so you kind of never know what's true and what's not on there. But it is possible that people would do such a thing, because people are really screwed up in some ways. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, maybe leave a comment, maybe leave a suggestion for a future video. And pretty soon I'm going to have an email set up where people can email me stories that they want to see in the video. I can't guarantee all of them will make it in the video because, depending on the subject matter and all that stuff, you get what I mean. But anyways, thank you for pulling up a stump, and thank you for watching. Have a good night or day wherever you are.